people overlook, I think, is that life is not food.
Right.
You've got life, this complex quality of sentience and activity, and then you've got food, which is what?
Yes, what is
Fuel, calories. It's not the same thing.
I love conversation. Imagine going to a dinner party where there's a lot of conversation, but you still get starved of both food and connection. No spoilers, this is episode 1, the dinner scene. If you haven't seen Severance, basically Mark goes through a procedure.
One's memories are bifurcated, so when you're not at work, you have no recollection of what it is you do there. Did I get that right, Mark?
Well,
So you walk in at 9 a.m. and then suddenly it's 5.
That brings a lot of complications, that brings a lot of anxieties, and in that world, that is a controversial position to be in. That's all you need to know. Now, Mark's sister invites him to a dinner party full of pretentious friends. Those friends are trying something new. They are having a dinner party where there's no food. They only have red placemats and on top of it, a tall glass of water. Now, the reason I really like this scene, and the scene keeps replaying in my head, is because I think this scene is trying to explain to us what's going on in the outside world of that Lumen company, but it's also telling us that severance has actually happened in society. People have a total separation of things, makes them not connect with others or with themselves. So this video, I'm going to explore this dinner scene to explain how we as a society on reality might be also on our way to severance. Are we already severed? Okay, so the first thing we need to talk about is actually the characters. The first type of severance that I'm going to talk about is that we as human beings, one thing is what we say, and the other thing is what we want to say. Let's look at the characters one by one, and I'll give you an example of something they said and what they actually meant. Roll the tape. So let's start with Patton. Patton says this.
Complex quality of sentience and activity, and then you've got food, which is what?
yes, what is
Fuel, calories. It's not the same thing.
But what Patton wants to say is, look how wise I am. Look how knowledgeable I am. Look how I'm a thought leader in this group. Then we have Rickon. Rickon is one of the hosts of this dinner party, and he's a little bit different. This is what he says.
It's Rickon. Ugh, you, sir, look at peace.
Okay.
But this is what he wants to say. He wants to say, I have insight into the human soul. I can see what others cannot see. I can see beyond the eyes. And then we have Devon, which is Rickon's wife, and Mark's sister, the one who invited. She says this.
Though, if I'm sorry, Mark and my dad used to have whiskey as life.
But what she's actually saying, in my view, is I'm actually using humor to distance myself from this. I am not so sure I want to take this seriously, but I like people and I like to be involved anyway. Then we have Rebank that says, that has 2 lines the whole dinner.
I definitely agree. Though,
Absolutely.
I definitely stand behind Mark.
And what she's saying is, please do not challenge me. I would crumble under the pressure. I just want to be a part of it. And the way I signal that I am smart and I'm good enough to be here is agreeing with whomever I think the majority will approve. There's the other friend, which I don't know the name. She says this.
Curious for your take on all of this. The food, the life of it.
But actually, she's not curious at all. What she wants to say is, I'm not curious. Actually, I'm just purity testing you. I'm measuring you up, and if you don't, I will end you. And you will hear my sanctimonious arguments. And then we have Mark, our main character, who went through the severance procedure. This is what he says.
Well, I'm not sure. I taught mostly about World War One.
Oh, okay. What?
And what he's trying to say is, I don't feel comfortable or safe in this environment. This is weird. I would rather not be inquired about anything too personal. I would like to keep it at surface level, please. There's another type of split going on here, another type of severance, and it's the mind and body separation, the mind and body split. They decide to have some sort of disdain over the body's need to eat. It's seen as lower than. You should have a clear mind to think and to talk and to discuss the great ideas of the universe like they're trying to do at that dinner party. There's an argument there that is, it's just calories. It's obviously idiotic because the brain feeds on calories too. It's just ideology, isn't it? It really sounds like one of those fads from the internet. People caught on and they just keep saying the same arguments without even thinking about it and wondering if what they're saying is actually true. This seems like one of those fads. What I find interesting here is because we are on outside, we can find this ridiculous, but things like this happen in the world all the time, and I can see this being plausible, completely plausible in today's society, that somebody will come with the idea that eating is actually not good, and when you have conversation, you shouldn't eat. And this surface level logic always finds a way of working as long as it feels good, as long as it has an aesthetic. Ooh, yet another type of severance that I feel like it's going on here. It's the opinion versus curiosity type of severance, because conversations should have curiosity. You should form an opinion at some point if you're interested. You don't have to have an opinion on everything, by the way. You could have curiosity and an opinion. And curiosity means when, even if you have an opinion, that you're curious about what the other one thinks. And you're curious about how did the other person get to the other conclusion. But on this dinner party, once they learn that Mark went through the severance procedure, it switches. What happens is they're no longer curious. They say they are, but they're no longer curious. And the only thing they're interested in is politicizing, is to win the argument. They don't care about what's right. They care about winning. That's what politics is. And that's why most subjects should not be politics. They should be actually outside. Most subjects, we actually should want to know the truth and not to be right. You'll never get anywhere by being just right. This type of severance has long happened to us here, and we are paying the price now because everybody believes a different thing with no good reason. Something else to have in mind here is the group think versus individuality split. You can have a group identity and have still your own opinions, and sometimes they overlap or not, but it becomes a problem when you just become a team member, nothing else. And that's what's happening in this dinner party is Mark does not belong to this group in terms of the choices that he did. And so this group doesn't want to understand them. And one thing that happens in groups of friends or certain circles, you'll sit down and you'll have everybody's saying the same slogans at each other and the same old anecdotes, and they agree and there's no conflict, and everybody just goes, yeah, I know. There's no friction. If there's no friction, also nobody's growing, nobody's being challenged. This is what's happening in this conversation, and nobody learned anything. Everybody stayed exactly what they were because nobody is willing to be curious. Nobody's willing to understand the other. Nobody's willing to leave the team for a second and wonder, do I dare to understand otherness? . 'Cause 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 ' There's one thing that I feel like it might be important. I'm not complaining about fasting. I think it's fine if it works for you, if you have reasons to believe in it, if there's scientific proof. I don't even know, and I don't even care. I'm not fasting. I understand that it has a cultural significance, and it has in several circles, and it works for some people. So I understand. It's not the thing in itself. I just prefer when people adopt things, not blindly, but thinking or experimenting with them, not taking it on as an automatic badge and an automatic personality trait. That's all. I am on episode 4. Maybe what I'm saying here will become irrelevant with what happened with these characters. I don't think so, actually. I think I'm spot on. As of now, it feels like Severance has happened outside of the show, in our reality, in that reality outside of that company, Lumen, and inside, obviously, of the company. I feel like Severance is here. The separation of all things that makes us even more alone, that makes us even less together, and even less caring with each other, full of depression and full of sadness. You know what? There is a solution. Stop doing it. Stop it. I think that's the best advice I could ever give. Just don't do it anymore. No, why not put a like? Why not do a little share? Or why not subscribe? Thank you for watching. You did great. You're a great person. Thank you.